Good morning. It's Friday, 5th September 2025. It's Teachers' Day because it is Dr. Radhakrishnan's birthday, the second president of India, who was himself a very great teacher. And market is our greatest teacher, and it has taught us many lessons over time. And yesterday was another wonderful lesson which we learned. This is Vijay here. Welcome to yet another episode of Pre-Market Commentary. And here we are going to talk about trading difficult market conditions and what is ailing the market and how we should be able to tackle it. So everyone has got their own way of tackling the markets. So I will briefly tell you what I plan to do. So before that, let's get into what happened yesterday. Yesterday, markets opened with the good news. In fact, fantastic news as far as GST regulations were concerned. They were eased in a very big manner. However, I had put the title of yesterday's topic as Buy on Rumor, Sell on News with a question mark. However, I thought that it may not happen that way because typically people would have taken positions the previous day and would have sold on good news. But that's exactly what happened. Opening levels were the highs, and across the board, selling was seen. So the markets are very difficult. Everybody has noticed that one day up, one day down. So one has to change or fine tune their strategies if we want to survive these markets. These phases come regularly, but those who survive these phases tend to make money on the long side and not on the short side. As of now, there is no reason for us to feel worried, but definitely we should fine tune our strategies. So let me come back to the strategy at the end of the session, but just a recap. So yesterday the markets fell across the board. Then mid caps saw a very big fall. In fact, last few days, mid caps, small caps, and micro caps are doing better than the Nifty and Bank Nifty. But yesterday, mid caps were actually leading the market down, though one would have never thought so. So, what are the cues this morning? While Nifty came down, we have in Nifty components also, mid cap, small cap fell down. Then autos were the only top sectoral gainers. Then you had FMCG, which did well. Other indices all closed in the red. And now, surprisingly, what happened on the institutional front? FIS net sold only 106 crores, which is very, very low. Probably the lowest in many months as far as the selling is concerned. The DIs continue to buy. So DIs bought about 2,200 crores, yet the market fell. So the question which arises in people's minds is who is selling? I've always mentioned that there are three components to the market. One is the FII, one is the DII, and the third one is what I call the third force. The third force consists of PMS, ultra high net worth individuals, AIFs, corporates, corporate treasuries, then unknown individuals who may be operating on the sidelines. It could be political parties, it could be anybody. So this third force is getting bigger and bigger and is many times dictating the trend of the market. For instance, yesterday was a clear case. Institutions are not sellers, actually they're buyers, where the market came across the board. I've always respected the strength of the third force, and as I said, the third force strength is growing. So we should also understand that institutions alone don't run the market. Apart from retailers, retailers as a group can play a big role. I think retailers wanted to book profits. I also feel HN ultra high net worth individuals also book profits because if you see the popular shares like Zomato or Ola, two examples here, they also fell down significantly. So, what are the cues this morning? US equities really took off. Dow Jones went up by 350 points. S&P closed at a record high, and Nasdaq went up by 1%. Mainly gains were in tech and consumer sectors there. And at the end of the day, Trump has formalized the US-Japan agreement. So Japan will pay 15% tariffs, which is very, very low. And as far as the other sectors are concerned, if you look at commodities, gold and silver continue to be strong. And I believe gold should do well and catch up, which was there. It was in a range bound. Trading was there for last 4 months between April and August. Now I think gold also should catch up. Then you had Brent. Brent has come down significantly. It is trading below 67. It was trying to hit 70 just 3 days ago. And US 10-year yield, which people look at it as to find out what Fed will do, that has collapsed to below 4.2. So that's very good news. It was just 4.35, 4.4 very recently. Dollar index is holding steady at 98. So what are the stocks to watch today? Zydus Life Sciences, they got an agreement, licensing agreement with Sindon. Bharat Forge, because they are setting up a defense energetics manufacturing complex in Andhra Pradesh. So that should be positive. Varun Beverages forms a JV with VC coolers and refrigeration equipment. Concor has signed a MOU with Bhavnagar Airport. HCL Tech has partnered with SailPoint for AI-driven identity. Now everybody is getting into AI, the Indian tech. And finally, Samman Capital, which we hold a stake, we hold shares. They've got a new CFO who's come from Suzlon, Mr. Himanshu Modi. As for a neutral focus is on Aarti Drugs, which has commenced their commercial operations at the Gujarat plant. Then ICICI Pru, SBI Life, and HDFC Life, the insurers, they're expecting a small drop in their, the impact will be about 0.2% to 1% as far as their bottom line is concerned. Indian hotels, some issue was there, some technical issue. Negative, Biocon has got some Form 483 from US FDA, so that may be under stress. Then finally, some good news on the international front. Trump is relentless in his attack, or Trump and his cronies are relentless in their attack on India, and now they're threatening sanctions against Russia in the next few weeks, and then that may also affect India. And in that gloom and doom, we've had some good news coming from EU. People, the leaders had a conversation with Prime Minister Mr. Modi, and they talked about welcoming the engagement between India and President Zelensky, which is a very good sign, because probably India is the only country in the world which can talk to both Zelensky and Russia on equal terms. So the European Union is in favor of Zelensky. US is in favor of Trump. Trump is in favor of Putin. But India considers both Putin and Zelensky on equal keel, which is very, very good. Going forward, I think if it augurs very well for India, because more and more people are coming against Trump's activities where he's targeting India and asking him to lay off. Now, Trump is a hot-headed man. I don't know whether he will listen to anybody. He may even not listen to himself many times. He may be very erratic in his pronouncements. But nevertheless, this is a ray of good hope. So what am I doing? What we are doing is that we have gradually increased our portfolio allocation from Indian equities to commodities / Hang Seng. More than Hang Seng, now we are concentrating on gold. So between gold and silver, we are planning to have 30 to 35%. That is 1/3 of our portfolio currently will be in precious metals by the end of today. We are already there about close to 30%. So we'll add a few more percentage points today. So gold and silver will be equal. Previously, I was having greater proportion in silver. Today, I'm planning to have a little more of gold. So we'll have gold and silver, and to some extent, Hang Seng Bs. But more important is gold and silver, and more important is the ratio, which will be about 35%. And we believe strongly it is not exactly a hedge. We believe that, based on analysis, I believe that gold and silver can actually match Indian equities in a year's time. So it is like any other stock which we are buying. Gold Bs and silver Bs is our choice. And so that is our strategy. By end of the day, we would have shifted some amount from the Indian equities to gold and silver. So whatever you do, I hope it is successful. Thank you for joining me.